Archives of Prasar Bharati presents the timeless treasure of golden era.
The scheduled tribes, numbering 6.77 crores as per the 1991 census, constitute about 8.08% of the total population of the country. The essential characteristics of these communities are primitive traits, geographical isolation, distinctive culture, shyness of contact with community at large, and economic backwardness. More than half of ST population is concentrated in 5 states of Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Odisha, Jharkhand, and Gujarat. Certain communities amongst STs are so backward that these have been defined as primitive tribal groups, PTGs, with specific characteristics with very low level of literacy, declining or stagnant population, and pre-agricultural level of technology. The estimated population of such groups is around 17 lakhs. And 75 such primitive tribal groups have been identified in 15 states and union territories. Largest number of such groups being in Odisha, 30, and Andhra Pradesh, 12. Poroja tribe is one of major tribes of Odisha, and Poroja is one of its sub-tribes. The tribe is classified as a primitive tribal group, PTG. Porja, as a composite group, once concentrated on the hills of the Srikakulam and Visakhapatnam in Andhra Pradesh. For years together, they remained confined to their shells as the change barely touched their lives. Today, most of Porjas have happily responded to the better way of living by shedding their primitive traits and have seen the light of development. Presently, Porjas are a scattered lot and freely mix with the members of their mother community, Porjas. Though Pirangis lived on the hills of Andhra Pradesh, their way of living was always highly influenced by the culture of their tribe, that is Parja, which is basically an Oriya tribe. In Odisha, the tribe is concentrated in the districts of Korapat, Kalahandi, Sundargarh, Keonjhar, Puri and Cuttack. In Andhra Pradesh, certain Porojas also live in the hills of Srikakulam and Visakhapatnam. It has been found that out of the 75 identified PTGs, some have a reasonably high rate of growth, some are more or less stagnant in their numbers, and some others have a negative growth rate. Secondly, some continue to live in comparatively speaking well-preserved environment. Thirdly, those groups who still live encysted in the untempered physical environment on account of its inaccessibility may have escaped exploitation. Though Porojas like to live as a separate identity, they are never averse to progress and are acceptable to change. The tribal sub-plan approach, adopted from the beginning of the 5th five-year plan in year 1974-75, has a two-pronged strategy, namely promotion of development activity to raise the living standards of STs and protection of their interest through legal and administrative support.
We are supplying the bullock on loan basis also for cultivating the land so that they will increase their financial position and they will be able to send their children to the school. We have got a number of schools in these tribal blocks, Twamul, Rampur and Lanjigad. Even residential schools also we have constructed, where 40 students are staying in each and every school.
The government's efforts in affording a fresh lease of life by adopting various developmental programs has given a new impetus to the survival of PTGs. As a result of TSP implementation in the state, the development barriers which existed among the Porojas for a long time have broken, and the efforts of the government have brought about a fresh lease of life. The Pirangi Porojas have now free access to many poverty elevation schemes, which have helped them to come out of extreme poverty and join the mainstream of overall development. Bina Pani Bhai is one of the very few Porojas who have come out of their shells to join the mainstream of life. She's studying in 11th standard in Chameli Devi Women's College, Junagadh, Kalahandi. Her village, Gundri, is not far from her college. Infused with the spirit and zest to make her mark, she happily walks down the streets of Junagadh every day to attend her classes. She's determined to make her career for herself so that she can bring about radical changes in her community. Veena is today a happy girl and is slowly moving towards better times. The word Paroja appears to have been derived from the Sanskrit word Praja, which literally means the common people. Paroja's men usually wear napkins and women wear coarse and cheap saris. Children up to the age of 3 to 4 years go naked. The young boys, however, wear small pieces of cloth. As a result of external contact, they have now started using modern dresses like shirts, banyans, blouses, colored saris, ribbons, etc. These dresses are worn preferably during the festive days or while visiting friends and relatives. Common ornaments used by the Paroja women folk consist of bangles, armlets, bracelets, necklaces, rings, hairpins, etc. Usually made of silver, aluminium, brass, and sometimes gold also. A married woman must wear these rings, lest she may be subjected to severe social criticism and ridicule. The Pirangi Poroja tribe in general are strong, stout, and hard-working. Compared with other tribal communities, they show cultural differences, especially in respect of their settlement pattern, dress and ornaments, economic life, beliefs and worships, manners, customs and folk traditions. They are simple, friendly and hospitable, but like to remain aloof from the people of other communities as they feel shy of them. According to available figures, the total population of Porojas is 267,184. However, Pirangis number a humble 4,281, and the general sex ratio being 1,033 females per 1,000 males. Today, tangible population figures of the Pirangis or Pojas are not available. It is, however, estimated that Pirangis have recorded a growth rate of 15 to 20% in the last 2 decades. In big villages, they either live in separate wards inside the village or in a separate hamlet little away from the main village. The villages or hamlets are usually found near the forests or at the foothills adjacent to a permanent water source, like perennial stream or river, or linked with footpaths from various directions. The tribe is known to have typical customs. A Paroja individual in course of the span of his mundane life, between birth and death, passes through several successive phases and crises of life. They have their own rational view that human life begins from the mother's womb and terminates with the death. Their understanding of life and death is explicit. The Porojas are quite conservative as far as their womenfolk are concerned. The young girls at certain times are kept away from the sight of males and are not allowed to mingle freely with the male members. In the traditional Paroja society, the institution of youth dormitory has been functioning in every village. Boys and girls have separate dormitories. The boys and girls spend their night in their respective dormitories and enjoy liberty to know each other more intimately. Whenever they like, they meet at the community dancing ground at the center of the village and rejoice themselves by dancing together or simply holding singing competitions. Through romantic love songs, the boys and girls communicate their feelings to each other. They feel very enthusiastic in observing their rituals and celebrate festivals with great pomp and fervor. Marriage is the most significant event in a Paroja's life. It is also the most important ceremony in the Paroja's villages. After Paroja's boys attain 18 years of age and the girls attain puberty, they are considered fit for marriage. Formerly, a child marriage was prevalent in the Paroja society. But after a relentless campaign by the government against it, adult marriages have become the common practice. A girl having attractive characteristics and hard-working capacity is often preferred. Boys' parents find a suitable bride, they initiate a proposal before the girl's parents and negotiate the matrimony after finalizing the bride price through successive customary visits to the bride place. Generally, Paroja families are the smallest social units of the society. Nuclear families are common, while joint families are very rare. The Pirangi Porojas are seasoned cultivators, and agriculture is the mainstay of their economy. Formerly, the Porojas were subsisting upon shifting cultivation, which is now reduced to a secondary or tertiary means of livelihood. Now they mainly depend upon wet cultivation, which is supplemented by shifting cultivation and other allied economic pursuits, like collection of forest produce, wage earning, animal husbandry, etc. The major crops grown by the tribe are of high land variety, namely maize, minor millet, early paddy, ragi, swan, jowar, nigar, etc. Recently, new crops such as potato, ahar, wheat and vegetables like cabbage, cauliflower, brinjal, tomato have been introduced by the development agencies working among the tribe. Fruits and vegetables are also grown in a small kitchen garden behind the house and also in low lands where irrigation is available. Porojas are fond of cattle well. They rear cows, bullocks, buffaloes, goats, pigs and fowls. The cows, female buffaloes and female goats are not milked but used as agricultural draft animals. Rice is their stable source of food. It is supplemented by millets, maize and vegetables grown by them, while other edible fruits, roots, leaves and tubers collected from the forest around the year. They are addicted to alcoholic drinks and beverages. Use of liquor is a customary practice in all rituals, feasts and festivals. The Paroja are very particular in observing their social and cultural ceremonies.
Bapure bapure rairenda, bapure bapure sariso. Bere sade ki dudere, satro sade ki dude. Paraja go chaya digare, tera go chaya dige.
They have firm beliefs in regard to their various activities like marriages, birth and death ceremonies, festivals and rituals, seasonal agricultural operations and so on.
Bapure bapure rairenda, bapure bapure sariso.
They have a village astrologer who determines auspicious dates and moments for holding various ceremonies. He also gives names to their newborn babies and predicts the future of matchmaking in matrimony. Parojas worship a number of gods and deities for their well-being. The important deities are Danteshwari, their tutelary goddess; Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth and fortune; Landi, the god in charge of ensuring orderly social life; Jhakar Devta, the earth goddess; Dongar Devta, the forest god; Mahapuru, the supreme god, and Nisan Devta, the village deity. Parojas observe many seasonal festivals with pomp and ceremony around the year in order to propitiate their deities and ancestors, as well as for their own enjoyment. Among these, the important ones are Asadi Parab, Naukia, Dialia Parab, Baulani Jatra, Bas Parab, Chet Parab, etc. Dance, song and music are a characteristic feature of the Paroja aesthetic line, without which they feel their life meaningless. They are experts in all these arts. As a rule, the female folk form separate groups according to their age and start dancing and singing while the boys play musical instruments and sing songs. the finer and beautiful elements of nature. That is the sky, the stars, the sun, the moon, the rain, the wind, the hill streams, the trees, the flowers, the birds, the animals, and other influences appear in their song and music. Pirangi Porojas are otherwise a health-conscious tribe, and with the state taking care, they have become alive to the problems concerning their general well-being. The government is aware of the fact that PTGs have been gradually declining in number and are presently very small. One should not be surprised if some of them become extinct before long. If not looked after, their survival also, such as it is in want and misery, may be at stake. It is therefore essential to reapprise the situation and take conscious decision that the stinking state will not forsake its full-fledged part of nursing and fostering these marginal communities. However, all efforts to perpetuate their race are not lacking. It is our social responsibility also to see that the PTGs don't become a thing of the past. Parojas are not known to be literate, but they have begun to realize how important education is for their survival. Though they want to be untouched by external life. But government's forceful campaigns have worked to bring them out of their shells, and they have now begun to visualize life with better vision. They are optimistic. They are hopeful. They love life. They love their country. For they know tomorrow will bring them a new day with a fresh promise of a better future.